Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Friday, April 19th, 2019, 6:55 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. So we're going to have a short show today, and I'm just going to go over earthquakes. Going to hit the highlights. So, what we're seeing here on USGS for the last 24 hours is 282 earthquakes worldwide. Of those, 29 are 2.5 magnitude and higher. This 2.7 near Petrolia is about to come off the map, so we're going to start up there. This came in last night at 7:53 p.m. So let's zoom on in. I think I got this. It's a 2.7. This is an overlap from my show yesterday, but it's right on the San Andreas fault line. And then to the west of that, in the ocean, was a 3.3 that happened this afternoon at 4:17 p.m. This is on the Juan de Fuca plate line. So that's important. Let's see if there was anything else over there. Smaller magnitude. Yes, there was. There was also a 2.0 near Petrolia at 12:18 this afternoon. So we saw that one, 3.3, 2.0, and 2.7. And we're watching this area because of the Cascadia subduction zone there. So let's see if there was anything else about to come off the map. No, we've got time. So we showed those. So let's start down here in New Zealand. We're going to start with this 4.3 that happened off the east coast of the southern island near Kaikoura, New Zealand. This happened at 12:49 this morning, 12 kilometers deep. So it was in the ocean, and that's not really big enough to cause any damage. But it was right next to the red line, which is that tectonic plate that runs right through the southern island there. And all the times I'm telling you are Pacific time, because that's my time zone. Next, we've got a 4.9 near Ndoye Island, Fiji, that came in today at 4:02 p.m. Very deep, 438 kilometers deep. Next, coming on around in the Solomon Islands, there was a 4.5 near Chiro Vanga, Solomon Islands, at 6:27 this morning, 101 kilometers deep, and a 4.9 near Panguna, Papua New Guinea at 6:04 tonight, 399 kilometers deep. So the deep ones make the tectonic plates move around the planet. Next, over here near Luwuk, Indonesia, was a 4.9. This came in at 5:55 this afternoon, 12 kilometers deep. And a 4.9 near Kutai, Indonesia, at 5:29 this morning. Coming on up was a 5.2 off the coast of the Philippines near Pondaguitan, Philippines at 12:29 this morning, 54 kilometers deep. Now that was in the ocean, so that didn't cause any damage, more than likely, with it being in the ocean. The water buffers these. Then Japan has had some activity. This one was just off the coast, a 4.6 near Tomakomai, Japan, at 12:05 this morning, 129 kilometers deep. And then a 4.7 near Shikotan, Russia. These islands are Russian, but this island here, this Hokkaido island, is Japan. But the reporting station is Russia. This happened last night at 9:14 p.m. And coming on up, here's one to the south tip of Kamchatka Peninsula, 4.5 near Severodvinsk, Russia. That happened at 7:38 this morning, 114 kilometers deep. So I think that's all of them on the west side of the Pacific. Now let's come over to the east side and start here with South America. 4.1 near Iapal, Chile at 5 o'clock this afternoon. 5.0 near Iquique, Chile at 2:37 this afternoon, 95 kilometers deep. Then moving on up into Central America, we've got a 4.9 off the coast of Mazachapa, Nicaragua at 6:36 this morning, and a 4.8 off the coast of Champerico, Guatemala at 12:43 this afternoon. So that's all of the international quakes. Did we see this one? That just came in, yeah, that 4.9. Now let's zoom into Hawaii and see what's going on. We've got 6 here today on the main island, a 1.9 near Kilauea. This was at a minus 0.7 kilometer depth. 1.7 Mauna Loa at a minus 2.5 kilometer depth. 1.7 Kilauea. 1.6 Waikoloa Village, and a 1.7 Pahala. So those are lower in magnitude than we've seen for a while. Now in the Dominican Republic, we're showing 10 here today. 3.0, 2.6, 1.1, 2.5, 2.4, 3.0, 2.2, 3.2, 2.5, and 2.6. So those were not big enough to do any damage, but showing movement. Now coming up to Alaska. For all magnitudes, we're showing 94 here today, so it's coming down a little bit in number. Now Alaska averages between 50 and 100 earthquakes a day. So of those 94, we have 5 that are 2.5 magnitude or higher, so I'm going to call those off. 2.9 Seaward, 2.7 Prudhoe Bay, that's up north. 2.5 Redoubt Volcano, 3.0 No Attack, and 2.9 Larsen Bay. And now, if we look at all magnitudes, we can see a definite pattern of just lining up down through the state. It's just a whole line through there. And here's a there's the 3.1 at No Attack. And at Kobuk we have 28 here today. Most of these are low ones. We've got a lot at surface level, some deeper than that. So I'd like to share with you a resource map, Mineral Resources of Alaska, that was left in the comments under my show from yesterday. This was courtesy of Rosemary Hill. She did some research because I'd said I really would like to know what's going on in the Kobuk area. I don't know if there's mining or what's going on. So she did some research and left this map for us. So thank you, Rosemary. We appreciate it. And when you zoom in, I downloaded it. It's a PDF file. So I've downloaded it, but I will leave the link in the video below. And this shows all the mines as of I think it was 2011 or 2012. So let's just start zooming in. And they had, at the time of the printing of this map, there were 266 mines or claims. Lots of mines. Wherever you see the little diamonds or the stars or any of the little circles, those have to do with mining. And up here at Kobuk are these three mines, big mines. One is called Bornite, another one Arctic Ruby, and another one Sun. And these, according to the ledger, of this bright green color, this chartreuse color, is base metal deposits, meaning copper, lead, zinc, and miners silver and barite. So that's what they're mining up there. So throughout Alaska there are all kinds of mines, and so wherever we see all of these earthquakes, it could be because of all this mining going on too. So now let's look at the date. It was printed on November 17th, 2011, and then it's been edited 3 times since then. The third mine edit was done November 19th, 2012. So it's not real current, but it gives us a good idea of what's going on up there. And they certainly didn't stop mining. I mean, this is one of their industries and how they make money. So the mines, the mineral deposit types are coal deposits, polymetallic deposits, meaning precious and base metals, other deposits, meaning barite, jade, graphite. I just read you the base metal deposits, then chromium, titanium, nickel, copper, and platinum group element deposits, copper and molybdenum, molybdenum with minor gold deposits, mercury and antimony deposits, uranium and thorium, tin, gold and silver with minor arsenic, antimony, bismuth, and tungsten, and iron deposits with minor gold, copper, titanium, and vanadium. So they've been mining up here a heck of a long time. So now that I see this, I'm just not surprised at the earthquakes. Now that I see this, I'm surprised that there are not more earthquakes up there. Because the mining can definitely cause earthquakes if they're blasting and drilling and fracking or whatever the heck they're doing to get that stuff out. So there's that. So that was helpful. So as we look at this Kobuk area, just think of those 3 little diamonds that we saw, and this could definitely correlate to one of those little green diamonds that we saw. And then up here, up north, we have quite a few today. There's 4 up there, and then they're coming down through the middle of the state. Here's this cluster in the Alaska Range Mountains. Then here's Anchorage. So anyway, these are pretty small, so it's showing activity. So let's move on down to the lower 48 and finish this up. So we're going to start with this one down here in Arkansas. This is, I would consider this part of the New Madrid hazardous area, or on the edge of it. 2.1 near El Dorado, Arkansas. This came in last night at 9:51 p.m. Then 1.8 Tuttle, Oklahoma, and 2.4 near Anthony, Kansas. Now moving on into Utah, we've got 7 here today. All of these are at Gunnison except this 1.6 at Helper, Utah. So we've got 6 stacked up right here near Gunnison, and I'll just call them off: 1.6, 2.4, 2.0, 2.5, 1.8, 1.3, 1.9. So those are pretty good size. Now coming on up into the Yellowstone area, we've got pretty good activity here today. We've got 8 on the map. So I'll just call them off in order. 1.5 West Yellowstone, Montana. 0.9 Lima, Montana. 0.1 Old Faithful Geyser, Wyoming. 0.8 Frenchtown, Montana. 0.3 West Yellowstone, Montana. 1.6 Soda Springs, Idaho. 1.4 Chalice, Idaho. And a 1.0 Belgrade, Montana. Well, I don't see any blasting here today. Maybe they took an early weekend. And now in the Pacific Northwest, we've already shown these down at Petrolia. So here's a 2.0 magnitude explosion near Princeton, Canada. Here's our real-time tremor map. Here's what it looks like in the last 24 hours. We've got 8.8 hours of tremors in the last 24 hours, and the majority of them are, again, just west of the Seattle area. And then we've got them starting up again down here near Medford, Oregon. So the majority of them were in this area here. Okay, here's a 0.6 near Morton, a 1.2 magnitude explosion northeast of Kalama, Washington, 1.3 La Center, Washington, and a 1.2 Springfield, Oregon. Now, coming on down, we've already covered these from Petrolia. Let's look at the geysers next. We're showing 22 here today. Most of these are under 1. The largest one is this 2.0. So that number's gone way down today. Now let's move on over to the Reno area. Here's a 0.7 Portola, 0.3 Truckee, 0.2 Verdi, Nevada, and we've got 4 here at Pyramid Lake. 2 in the lake and 2 on the land here. There are actually mountains right there. You can see in the geography or the topography there. 0.9 at 4:17 this morning. 2.2 at 4:22 this morning. 0.7 at 5:27 this morning, and a 0.5 at 1:14 this afternoon. And then here's a 0.8 near Dayton, or to the east of Carson City. We've got, how many do we have here at Hawthorne? We've got 7 here at Hawthorne today. These are under 1s. Some microquakes there. They have a lot of mining in that area. So wherever you see mines, you're going to see some earthquakes, just because of the activity involved in getting in and getting the goods. There's a minus 0.2 near Beatty. That's a microquake. Then down here in southern Nevada, we've got 14. Got some clustered here near Beatty, and then some peppered around over here. They're calling all of these near Beatty as the reporting station, so 14 right there. They're small. They're even under 0. It's like a minus 0.3 and minus 0.2, minus 0.5, 0, couple of zeros. So these are called microquakes. And the algorithm that they use to detect the earthquakes makes it into a negative magnitude. I emailed USGS and asked them. And so that's why you see something under a 0. So it's a minus. So it's a microquake. Now let's do the east side of California, 1.3 near Bridgeport. And here in the Mammoth Lake and Long Valley area, we're showing 14 here today. That's a pretty good number. We can see they're clustered right up here. And most of them are small. The largest one is this 2.2. And none of them are at a negative depth. So 14. So like 1.1, 1.4, 0.3, things like that. So it's showing movement in that region. Now we're down in the Coso Junction area with Little Lake and Olancha and Cyril's Valley and Coso Junction. We're seeing 5 here today. They're all under 1, like a 0.6, 0.8, minus 0.5, and so forth. So again, showing movement. Here's a 1.3 quarry blast at Mojave. Here's some in Baja, 2.1 and a 2.2 near Guadalupe. And here in Southern California, we're seeing 35 today. Let's see if there are any that are 2.5 magnitude or higher. Nope. Nope. Just these at Petrolia, and we've already seen those. So these are pretty small. 1.7 is one of the higher ones, 1.8, and then the rest are under that. So again, they're in clusters here and there and peppered around. Now let's come up the San Andreas fault line. 1.6 San Luis Obispo, 0.9 Colami, 1.7 Avenal, 1.7 Huron. Wow, look at all these here near Soledad. 1.2 Gonzales, 1.7 Pinnacles, 0.8, 0.9, 1.1 all at the Pinnacles, 2.3 Tres Pinos, and here's a quarry blast, a 1.5 magnitude near Prunedale. That came in at 11:22 this morning. And these have happened, some of these have happened since then. This larger one, this 2.3 came in at 2:21 this afternoon. So that could have triggered that. That's my thought. Moving on up, 2.0 Gilroy, 1.1 San Martin, 1.2 Boulder Creek, 1.0 Colma, and 1.4 Daly City. And I think that's a wrap. So we had a lot of activity in California today, starting with these up here, these 3 on this fault line, and then look how they just came right on down the San Andreas fault line. I was listening to the local news tonight, and they were talking about they were going to name another fault line that was going to run from Reno that would follow Highway 395 kind of down along here in California. And we do see earthquakes that follow right along that, but they're actually saying that there's a fault line there. I forget what they called it, but so this is actually, now geologists have decided that there's a fault line that comes down here. So that's why we're seeing all that. By the way, when people say apocalypse or apocalyptic, it's used in a lot of different instances. Like they'll say apocalyptic weather or apocalyptic hailstorm, or we haven't ever seen this before, it's apocalyptic. But that's not quite the right use of the word apocalyptic. Apocalypse means the revealing. And we are in these end times, and things are being revealed to us. And I believe it's so we can be informed and see what the enemy is doing, and then of course see what God is doing too, and so that we can make a stand and make our choice of which side we're going to be on. And so that's what apocalypse means. It means the revealing. So we're in the times of revealing. So we're in apocalyptic times of revealing. So it's kind of a misuse when they say apocalyptic weather. I think they're referring to the upheavals and the earth changes and what's predicted in the Bible in the end times. I think that's what they're referring to. So I just thought I'd leave that little tidbit with you tonight. And this is Resurrection Weekend. And so I hope everyone has a peaceful weekend, and however they spend it. But I do think we are in the end times, and I recommend that people get right with God and Jesus while you still have time. So I'll sign off for now, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Go in peace, and goodbye.